spot with Bankless, where the ecosystem of Bankless could take advantage of and be better rather than building that product using it. But in the other side of the relationship, there's a lot of things that Bankless is working on that could go into those other ecosystems and fill dark spots there. And I think that's an interesting relationship opportunity, like of just because I think there's a lot of maybe network overlap, like Polygon. People use a lot of apps, but like I'm primarily focused on like the area of like Gnosis Gnosis chain, XI Gnosis chain, and I just feel like there's a lot of people like that don't overlap into like the Polygon world, for instance. So I feel like there's interesting relationship opportunities, and I'm just trying to like form early ideas of what this could be like, just with like different DAOs on Gnosis chain that like we've worked with that would probably vibe with like Bankless.
Yeah, that's the other thing I think too, is that ultimately what we can do, like, we need to develop people that are knowledgeable about Gnosis chain in the DAO, right? Like, they don't necessarily have to be active contributors in our DAO, but if we build a relationship right, they know how to come in and out of our DAO to provide whatever knowledge or support or sharing that they need to do.
Yeah, I mean,
and this is with, we don't need to be like the place for people to learn Gnosis chain, but we want to be a place where people can come in and connect. And ultimately, we're a media DAO, so relationship building is also media content for anybody building that relationship. And so we're trying to figure out
yeah,
what that looks like too, and get people skilled up in being able to do AMAs or podcasts or blog posts or product
yeah.
demos.
I mean, I can just think like of just a ton of Gnosis chain projects and Gnosis itself. I mean, Gnosis uses us, and we have a good relationship with them, and they're an awesome DAO themselves. I just feel like, I don't know. I think like there's a lot of relationships where I mostly have just thought in this very siloed way until like just popped in my head a few minutes ago. Like I look at like Gnosis and all the relationships around Gnosis, and I think it'd be interesting to build those relationships. I'll shut up now and let other people talk, but I think it's very interesting. I like this group a lot. Good idea.
Yeah, no, welcome for the kind of opening icebreaker and discussion. And yeah, Sonata will probably kick off the meeting and give you another a chance to do a little formal introduction.
Cool. Would
And
you
we
like
are,
me to, or oh yeah, do you want me to do an intro? What were you saying?
Yeah, go
Sorry.
ahead.
Yep.
Yeah,
Cool.
go ahead, please.
Cool. So I just joined this week on a guest pass, so by Matt Hatter. So thanks very much for that. I am Lindsay Winder. I'm at Hedgie. We build financial tooling for DAOs. So we've been on like Gnosis chain. Gnosis used us for like a 2.4 million DAO to DAO token swap last week. We've worked with DAO House for like their contributor payments, Shapeshift for their like OTC discounted time lock sale. We basically just built a bunch of like weird protocols for DAOs. But going back before that, like I've been in DeFi for like 4 years, and I was at the last bull run, and just like seeing like a lot of projects kind of like rise and then fall, and I think we're having those conversations again. So I think I got into like the area of products that we focus on, mostly because I want to, I don't know, give DAOs the tools they need to survive, to build a treasury. But I'm here because I obviously like listen to Bankless like a ton. I'm sure a lot of people find their way to the DAO for that. as I started to look at the DAO, I just saw it seemed like a lot more than that. I've been, participating in a lot of Gnosis chain-based DAOs, and I like the idea of collaborating, of DAOs like working together. I'm not here to like shill products or any shit like that. I really just like, I don't know, want to see what like Bankless is up to, and if I have any DAOs like in our network that we've just worked with, whether it's like Gnosis or Shapeshift or One Hive or any of those like Gnosis chain DAOs, I'd love to think of ways for them to collaborate with what you're doing. That's me.
Yeah, welcome. I just wanted, sorry, before we move on, just wanted to highlight that we have the intro to the DAOlationships call right now, and not the weekly sync. The weekly syncs are on Monday, but this time fits as well pretty good with what we've been doing right now. And so, yeah, again, like welcome, and happy to see or to hear about potential partnerships that we can build with the project you have got going on and our space here. So what exactly do you do again? I think
sorry. So we're a hedgy.finance is the site if you're around it. So we focus on financial tooling for DAOs. So whether that's DAOs financing through token sales, whether it's like DAO to DAO token swaps, or DAOs basically like paying their contributors with locked tokens. We basically like combine the ability to distribute native tokens, build a diversified treasury, reward contributors in ways that both benefit like DAOs and communities. Anything beyond that, I'd probably have to like show it. Yeah, and we've been used by like Gnosis, Shapeshift, One Hive, a bunch of bigger DAOs for just like back-end treasury stuff.
Okay. Do you have a doc maybe or a proposal you did earlier, something that we can show our members here that are not in this call right now?
Yeah, sure. I could for sure. And I didn't want to like take any stage here. I was mostly just trying to listen in, but I could share something in the chat if it's helpful.
Yeah, please do that. And no worries about the first thing you said. This is the purpose of this meeting. So for folks who can literally come here and we can give them an introduction to DAOlationships in general. It's also meant for BDAO members. So if you've been around here in Bankless DAO and contributing maybe to other guilds, this is a good place this is a good time to plug into the DAOlationships Guild too, for example. And so we do both, kind of welcoming new members and members from other ecosystems, as well as welcoming DAO members to the DAOlationships.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Hedgehog. Yeah, I just came across Hedgy Finance a few weeks ago. I got introduced to it.
Oh, funny.
Yeah, because I'm involved at a DAO called Nodestar DAO, and I was just added as advisor.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, one of the co-founders of Hedgy is now going to be handling our treasury at Nodestar, Alex Michelson.
Yeah, it's Alex. It's like he's behind me. Yeah, we talked to the Nodestar people. They're awesome.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm glad that's me. I tried to send you a friend request, but I see you're not accepting them. So
I'll hit you up, man. I'll do that for sure.
Right, cool.
And I'll drop those around as well. Some stuff, but yeah, we with Nodestar, Alex, my co-founder, he was a senior treasury manager at WeWork for 6 years. So he basically took all of that and into the DAO space, and we started building like protocols around it. And Nodestar is an example of like an early DAO. We're trying to help them diversify their treasury from native tokens, having like a stable coin runway.
Cool. And we
That's
also
awesome.
utilizing and it's look forward to working with you guys because we just launched a crowdfund Nodestar DAO with Gnosis chain through DAO House.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah, looking forward to working more with Alex and getting familiar with Hedgie.
That's cool, man. Yeah, DAO House actually started using us to pay their contributors. I'll share this. Is it okay if I share this in the DAOlationships general?
Yeah, of course.
This is related to a DAO House specifically. They basically pay their contributors in time lock tokens. And we built a protocol that lets you lock tokens inside of NFTs. Basically, like an NFT is a unique access key to these locked tokens. And so they, started using this to give their contributors these locked tokens in NFTs because it lets their contributors have access to like the right of the token. So they could sell the NFT to effectively leave their position or still have access to like the governance rights of locked tokens. So it's like a win-win because the DAO offsets their liquid tokens being put into the market, but the people getting them still have like access to it.
So
that's what we did with
digital piggy bank in a way.
Yeah, tokens are still locked, but there.
It's earning interest as well.
What's that?
The tokens that's locked in NFT, is it earning interest as well?
It's such a good question. So we're actually building the ability to have rebasing tokens, which is like what you'd need for that. And so the short answer is like you could have a wrapped interest-bearing token, but right now a rebasing token is something that's like in the works.
Okay, cool.
It's a cool idea though, dude. That would be such a cool thing, right?
Hell yeah, I think so.
It's awesome.
I keep hearing really good things about Hedgie Finance, so it's nice to finally speak to someone representing Hedgie.
Yeah, I mean, dude, we love this. I mean, I just like jump around with DAOs and like it's cool to like just see how different DAOs operate and like exist and like how everybody's thinking about things in really in different ways. So I just like listening in. I actually am trying to not like hog this or anything, but I just like seeing how groups of people do things,
Yeah, well, you're in the right spot in DAOlationships and Bankless DAO because that's what we're all about, building building relationship amongst different DAOs in the space. So, just creating connections and working together.
Yeah, and if you want to see one way of how we build partnerships with other DAOs, you can make sure to tune in our next AMA with Nation 3. Don't know if you heard about this project, but we will have an AMA with them in 40 minutes.
Oh,
so
cool.
If you have the time, Twitter Spaces, Bankless DAO. Yeah.
That's 3 o'clock. Yeah, I got time. I'll definitely listen to that. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, because honestly, like, yes, we do have these products that like DAOs can use, like whether it's Bankless or all the other products, but like I also really think like collaboration is really important. Like I just share a link, which that Gnosis and Agave used us to do a token swap with each other, and that was related to like the hack on XDAI or that snafu. I don't know if you recall it, and like those are interesting ways. Like we don't have a token, we don't have fees. It's just like we just think it's cool to build that infrastructure right now that lets DAOs coordinate in those ways. And I shared the other link that basically highlights how DAO House used us. And the last one I'll share is this last one is how Shapeshift has recently used us. They used us for and so it's like a bunch of other projects, but basically projects have used us to raise funds for their DAO. This protocol allows them to sell tokens at a discount with a time lock. And basically it allows DAOs to like raise stable coins without dumping tokens on the market. And basically creating that typical VC deal, like of a discount and time lock, but creating a democratized access to where like anyone in a DAO can participate in it. So those are like the three kind of primary things we do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, currently, like, there's a lot of stuff going on. I would say, if you want to take a look at like what we do, we have our products and services CRM. I don't know with which stage your project is, but we have something. We have different ways of collaborating or kind of mutually benefiting each other. We have a bot in Bankless, DAO, the DGen, which is kind of a in-house bot. So what were exactly kind of, because I will give false information on that, but DGen, like, does anyone have a clear overview right now of what DGen can do everything? I don't know, maybe Ernest?
DGen. I'm also looking it up as well.
Mm-hmm. Off the top of my head, I know DGen tracks all of the attendance for like a certain event and distributes POAPs. That's what I know.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so, yeah, I know it tracks attendance. As far as what else it does, I'm not sure.
Tracking attendance for like event if you want to do like interesting
distribution. Yeah. Right. Distributing them manually really sucks. So it's nice that we have DGen that tracks it, and then you like you put in the
that's awesome.
CSV files, then you're pretty much good to go. And then whoever attended the event, they can just DM DGen and write GM, and then it sends you like a list of POAPs for you to claim, depending on what event you attended.
That's awesome. We can try this out just to like dog food some products. We could try this out in our own community because we do POAPs for certain events. And I think our community manager would love this. I think I know the pain point you're talking about. But we also have a couple of DAOs. I think OneHive on Gnosis, they've talked about this issue before as well. So that's cool. Yeah, like that's kind of stuff like that I was talking about, type of things that like DAOs just want to work with other like DAOs. And I think like if you have things that I could like, some of the DAOs we work with could be like, hey, you know, like Bankless has this thing, you should work with them. And also you should just like jump in this group to meet some of the Bankless people. I think it's what we're all looking for, right? We're all looking to just do that.
I mean, if you go to the general chat, you will see a link called DAOlationships CRM. That's our CRM Notion page, and when you scroll down a little bit, you will find an overview of the services and products we have. I mean, the DGen bot is kind of one of 22. We have a bounty board as well for kind of a job contracting board that you can use as well to publish and kind of give out jobs in a Discord channel. We have services that are like currently we do over in Research Guild reports on DeFi and stablecoin projects that has been kicked off in season 4. We managed to secure 2 grants and are working for Faye and Tribe DAO, doing research for them, and Saddle Finance. I don't know if you heard about them, but for them too. A DeFi project, yeah. So,
and what do you do for them? Sorry.
We create research reports based on their needs. We have a rough draft. We have kind of what we can offer. So we offered to Faye, for example, a SWOT analysis on their stablecoin compared to other stablecoins in this area, and then kind of a deep dive into their ecosystem and really like creating a report similar to maybe what high level. I don't want to give promise too much, but we were compared with Messari at some point.
I mean, that's a good comparison.
Yeah, it's. I mean, we're just getting these things done. We are working currently on the first grant, but yeah, I think what's standing out for me personally about this is that we are a DAO and we are doing this in kind of a DAO manner. So if we are already I don't want us to be compared to traditional kind of companies like Messari or other ones, because they have a totally different governance structure and totally different way to create those reports.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that it's worse or better. It's just it's a difference between how to manage these projects in a chaotic system with a work group all over the globe, compared to like one person doing the research and drafting this report. So, and
it's also value of the relationship, which I think goes back to the core of this group.
Exactly.
Is that it's not just creating a report for them, but it's building a relationship between another DAO that will probably go into multiple things after, not just a transaction. It's not a transactional relationship, even though there may be, there's probably a transaction involved. I think that's really interesting. I think, again, I think there's a couple of just DAOs that I could think of a DAO that would love to get a report and be a proposal, and maybe there's some other blind spot that you all have, and instead of just swapping tokens, it would almost be just swapping services, you know what I mean, or something. I don't know how it works, but those are interesting ideas for sure. Can I ask a question on a lot of these services? Do you have tokenomic cost baked into something like a report? I don't need to get into the weeds or anything, but I'm just curious of how you look at the relationship versus biz dev and how those kind of connect as well.
You mean kind of a tokenomics focused
overview? If you do a report for some, if Messari does a report for somebody, it's 25,000. And so if Bankless does a report for a DAO, I actually think whatever the cost would be, it would be probably received well just because of the DAO relationship. But I assume there is a cost for the report, yes?
There is. What we currently do is we try to figure out what the cost would be, and we're working with Bankless Consulting on creating a spec and kind of a draft of how much we would charge in general, and then if there are some special needs, well, we of course go up, and if not, then we can decrease the price. But so we are. When it comes to those two reports, the first one is a combination of research report and educational series with working with Translators Guild there. And so we had the project team to compensate. We have the research work group to compensate and translation kind of package to compensate. And I think this is a grant for 23,000, not USDC. I think it's FEI. So we do this for Tribe DAO and FEI protocol. We're currently working on this. And Settle Finance was just a research deliverable, but they had a lot of asks, and we, I think, came up with 17,000 in USDC. But I had already talks with Jenga Jojo, who's managing this media kit and pitch deck that he will be presenting to clients that are coming into the DAO and want to take advantage of kind of introduction to our services. And again, I expect something between 10 and 15,000, probably around 12,000 for in-depth report. Again, it will be a spec, so there are some services that we can offer, but we are also able to adjust based on the needs of the protocol or project.
That makes sense. Yeah. I think, from just like being a new person and somebody who wants to like find ways to coordinate like you with other DAOs, I'd love to see stuff like that, like whether it's a deck or just things that I can like have on hand to have the right language and share things as I'm like just talking, like as a friend with other DAOs. And even just like the full thing of services that Bankless does. Because I really do think like this kind of like services are how relationships can be built, and DAOs are willing to, through proposals, pay for those services, and it's mutually beneficial in some way if you're all kind of doing this together. So I think that's interesting. I'd love to dive into it more and find a way to help there.
Yeah, this sounds great. I mean, if you wanna, I think this is a more. Let me think about it, because
yeah,
you want to help in general with the media kit, right? So you should probably get in